and the fish if I can. Come on, you know you want to. There we go. I'm just going to try this now. Oh, that fish is quite plain, but the sauce makes it really interesting. It's quite tangy. Hi everyone and welcome back to Googie's Kitchen, and if you are new here then hello and welcome. My name's Alexis, and in today's video I want to share with you how to make my delicious fruity fish dish. As I just mentioned, today I want to share with you how to make a really easy fruity fish dish. So this recipe is very simple, but it is slightly time consuming. But as I always say, the efforts are worth the results. I promise you, it is really tasty. My husband and son had it last time. My son wasn't so keen, but my husband really enjoyed it. Today it's only me having it for lunch. My husband and son are out of the house, so I'm going to have this for my lunch today. And I'm really looking forward to it. I love this one so much. So the first thing I've done is I've put a large pan, and I'm going to put that onto a high heat on my hob. And then, oh, I've got the oil out and I'm going to the cupboard for it. Silly me, I'm going to put just a small amount of oil into the base of the pan like so, and I'm going to leave this pan to heat up. But before I go, I just want to say that if you have enjoyed this video today and you want to see more, then please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you did really enjoy this video today, please feel free to give it a big thumbs up, because everything like that really helps me out and I would really appreciate it. So as I said, I'm going to leave this pan to heat up. The pan is getting hot, so I have peeled and sliced and diced one red onion that I'm just going to pop into the base of the pan. It doesn't have to be a red onion, an onion will do, to be honest with you. And I'm going to fry the onion now until it starts to soften and go clear or translucent. So I'm just going to continue to fry the onion. The pan was starting to get slightly too hot, so I just turned the heat down a little bit, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in half a red pepper. As I said, I'm making this for myself today. My husband and son are eating elsewhere, so what I've done is I've halved all of the ingredients. So I've got half a red pepper, I removed the core and the stalk, and then I just sliced and diced the flesh into small pieces. It doesn't have to be an exact measure. We are going to blend this recipe, this sauce at the end, so it doesn't really have to be exact. The smaller the pieces, the easier it does blend though, I would say. So depending on your blender, of course, unless you've got one of these supersonic blenders that blends everything, then you'll probably not need to do that. But I like to cut it into smaller pieces, just so it helps to blend it easier. And I'm going to fry the red pepper now for a good 5 minutes, I'd say, because I want it to go soft. So I'm actually making the sauce for this recipe at the moment. The rest of this recipe is really simple. It's the sauce that is the complicated part, but if you wanted to make this in advance of the meal and store it in the freezer, then you could. All of the ingredients in this sauce are freezable, so you can store it in the freezer. So as I said, I'm just going to continue to fry the red pepper until it starts to soften. So as I said, I've been frying this for about 3 minutes or so, and it has started to soften. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a courgette. So I have peeled and grated one courgette. The reason I grate this is because it cooks quicker, but also if my husband and son were eating this meal and I wasn't blending it, then they wouldn't know it was in here. So I like to grate vegetables. I've got into the habit of grating them now, because I try to play hide the vegetable with my husband and son. So yes. But they do actually cook quicker as well when they're in the pan, so you only need about a minute or so just to heat this through. And then I've got the fruity part of this dish, which is going to sound weird, but I've actually got about a handful of pineapple. So if you're making this for 4 people, as the recipe suggests, then it would probably be about double that amount of pineapple. But I'm going to add the pineapple in as well. My pineapple is frozen, so I haven't had to cut any pineapple up today. But if you do have to cut it up, then obviously you would take off the skin and then you would fry the pineapple. I find frozen fruit sometimes a lot easier than having fresh fruit in the house. I tend to find that if I cut up half a pineapple, then I tend to leave the rest and it goes off. So frozen fruit is a lot easier. You can buy it, we buy it in our local supermarket, just in the frozen section. It just comes in bags and it's really easy. I'm just going to turn the heat back up slightly on this just to get the pineapple cooking basically. And I'm going to fry the pineapple with the rest of the ingredients until I can start to see it soften. I've been frying the fruit now for a good 5 minutes and it started to soften, so I'm going to add in my spices as well. So I'm going to add in a teaspoon of ginger, then I'm going to add in a teaspoon of mild chili powder as well, and then I have a teaspoon of smoked paprika. So just going to add a teaspoon of smoked paprika, and then I have some nigella seeds as well. Nigella seeds give this a really spicy curry-like flavour, I have to say. So I'm going to add in about half a teaspoon of nigella seeds for that as well. And then I'm going to stir those in like so. I did turn the heat back up slightly to cook the pineapple, so I'm going to turn it down again now because the pan is getting slightly too hot at the bottom there. And I'm going to add in the tomatoes to this as well. So I've got 1 tin of tomatoes. I'm just going to add to the base of that pan, like so. I'm going to fry those round until everything is well mixed together. And then I'm going to add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. So salt and pepper to your taste. You don't have to add it if you don't want to, or you can add it. It's entirely your choice. Obviously I'm serving this for myself, but I still don't like things too spicy, I have to say. So I'm a bit like Ted. I like spice, but not too much, if you know what I mean. So I'm just gonna leave this on the hob now to simmer on a medium heat for a good 10 to 15 minutes, or until the juice from the tomatoes starts to absorb into all the other ingredients and it looks like a jam. What you want to happen is for this to turn sort of jammy. So I'm going to leave this for about 10 minutes now and I will come back and see how it looks. One thing I have forgotten to do is I've forgotten to add in the tomato puree, so I'm just going to add in a tablespoon of tomato puree to this as well. It was sitting right on the side and I just didn't see it, so yes. And I'm just going to leave this again on the hob until the sauce goes jammy. So I turn the heat back up a bit and the sauce has kind of gone jammy now. There's no sort of runniness from it when I pull the spoon back, so that's a good sign. All the juices are soaking into the other ingredients. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off the heat now and I'm going to leave this to cool for a little while, and then I will blend it and I'll put it back on the heat. But in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to preheat my oven, and once my oven is preheated I will put the fish in and I will cook the fish off while I'm blending the sauce and heating it again on the stove. The sauce has cooled, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour it into my blender and I'm going to blend these ingredients now until they are smooth. So I'm just going to scrape out the base of this pan because, as my grandmother used to say, waste not, want not. I have to get everything out. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the lid on. As I said, I'm going to blend all of these ingredients together until they are smooth. I have blended those ingredients until they are smooth, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour the sauce back into the saucepan. And while I heat this through, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to put my fish into cook. So I have some frozen fish. And it normally takes around 25 minutes. I'm just cooking it as per the packet instructions, but if you have other fish that you want to cook, then that's fine. So as I said, I'm just going to put this onto a low heat now, and I'm just going to let this simmer. I'm going to cook the fish, and I'm also going to cook some quinoa as well. I think in the original recipe I cooked rice, but today I just fancy some quinoa. Yes, I'm just going to leave this sauce to simmer and cook everything else to go with the dish. Everything finished cooking, perfect timing as well. They all finished cooking together. So I've plated up, and I thought I'd just give this a little try to let you know how it tastes. It smells amazing, I have to say. And I just want to try a bit of the sauce with some of the quinoa and the fish if I can. Come on, you know you want to. There we go. I'm just going to try this now. Oh, that fish is quite plain, but the sauce makes it really interesting. It's quite tangy, and there's a hit of spice right at the back of your throat. So that is delicious. I'm really looking forward to having this for my dinner this evening. That's how you make my delicious fruity fish, and that recipe I will link in the description box below for you. As I mentioned earlier, well actually I said that I was going to have this for my dinner, but I meant my lunch. So as I mentioned earlier, please forgive me, I'm going to be having this for my lunch, and it smells and tastes so good, I can't wait. So for now, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and please feel free to leave any comments below. And please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See you all soon. Bye.